The main religious liberty case involves a Philadelphia Catholic foster agency tossed out of placing foster children for the city because it wouldn't, for biblical reasons, agree to hand kids over to same-sex married couples. The question is whether the city has infringed on the agency's religious liberty.
I think many of the justices think that Philadelphia, even if the Constitution didn't compel it, the city ought to have granted a religious exemption in these circumstances.
A huge difference this term is the absence of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. This likely means less power for the liberals she led and more for the conservative-leaning justices. And that's why all eyes are on the confirmation process of Judge Amy Coney Barrett.
Her record shows that she'll be a justice, as she said, more in the mode of Justice Scalia than in the mode of Justice Ginsburg. And that's precisely what the Democrats are afraid of.
Obamacare is once more on the line this term. The justices will decide if the individual mandate that forced Americans to get health insurance is unconstitutional. And if they rule it is, whether that then kills the entire Affordable Care Act. And that's the case Democrats are making their main argument against both President Trump and Amy Coney Barrett. They maintain he wants to kill Obamacare, and she's the justice who would help do it.
That case, filed by 14 Republican attorneys general and the Trump administration, would eliminate the Affordable Care Act. Not change it, eliminate it.
Most legal scholars don't agree because they say this case has little chance of destroying the whole Obamacare law. And a former Barrett colleague says it's ridiculous to assume her vote is already decided before the case is even heard.
It is her conviction. And she has said over and over again, whatever her personal, political, or religious beliefs, her fidelity is to the rule of law first, foremost, and only.
But until there's a decision on Barrett, the Supreme Court is split 4-4. That could cause real trouble if the presidential election is contested and the court has to basically pick the president, as it did in Bush versus Gore.
I think this will end up in the Supreme Court, and I think it's very important that we have 9 justices.
A huge question is whether a growing conservative wing of the court could use the next abortion case to weaken or even overturn Roe v. Wade, which legalized abortion nationwide. No cases are on the docket right now, but 2 soon could be. Whether Mississippi can ban abortions from 15 weeks on, and whether it places an undue burden on patients to force them during a pandemic to visit a doctor to get the drugs needed for a medication abortion. The court's new term begins, as it traditionally does, on the first Monday of October. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from the Supreme Court.